Hi folks, John with the Wingman115 Channel. Keeping with the spirit of preparedness, we're going to talk today about magnesium fire bars. Now, I'm from that camp of I love value items, but when it's an item that your life depends on, you might want to spend the extra money. Today we're going to do a shootout with the Doan's Magnesium Fire Bar versus the Harbor Freight Magnesium Fire Bar. Doan's is made in the US, Harbor Freight's outsourced, made in China. Not saying that one is better than the other. We're going to run it through the paces and I'll give you my final thoughts after we conduct our test. I feel it's important that if your life depends on an item such as this, that you need to know if it's going to work as advertised. I want to share that information with you. Come along. Let's take it to the tabletop, test it out. Okay, for the sake of the test, I have the Doan's bar and the Harbor Freight bar. What I'm going to do, and this is non-scientific by any means, is I just took a piece of paper and I drew with a piece of 3/4 inch PVC pipe, just a circle for the Doan's and Harbor Freight. What I'm going to do is scrape off enough just to cover the circles. It's not really scientific, but it'll be a good enough comparison to be able to see how it lights and how it performs. So the Harbor Freight bar came with this cheap, kind of like hacksaw blade. I'm going to be using this for the test and cutting both. And then we'll get close-ups on how this looks when it's cut compared to the Doan's when it's cut. So I'm going to start. Okay, I managed to fill the circle up with the magnesium shavings. I'm going to slide this over and then I will start on the Doan's bar. I can tell right off the bat, this bar just felt greasy and oily to the touch. Just a observation. Let's look up close too. See how the epoxy's in there? You don't see that with the Doan's. Just a quick observation. Let me start processing some of this and then we'll get to the test. Now I have both of my piles of magnesium and I'm going to bring them up close. As you can see, this one is a little bit more coarse, granular than the Doan's one. I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with how it lights or takes a spark. We will test that out. First, we're going to test out the Harbor Freight. So I'm going to slide this down here. Like I said, this is purely unscientific here. We're just real world testing that if we got this out in the woods and your life depended on it, would it work as advertised? Now these run for about, I don't know, $2, $3 at Harbor Freight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hit that striker on that and see if it'll take a spark. Let me see if I zoom in a little bit. Right there. So it's having a hard time to light. I'm finding, I don't know if you would be able to start a fire with that. And that's the problem I had. I took it out in the woods and I used it, and we were just trying to do primitive camping and it took forever to get this to take a spark. Now let's try the Doan's. We're going to use the Doan striker. Hopefully my big hands won't get in the way here. Look at that, right on the second get-go. Lit right up. Man, that's just burning white hot. And it's still going. The more I'm playing with the coal, that air gets in there. Just burned really well. Now I have some more, and we'll do another test just to give it a second go. Let me clean the pan, and then we'll come back. All right, we're gonna try it again. I have some more. Here's the Harbor Freight. And as I was saying earlier, it just felt oily or greasy. The way that they blend that bar together just felt sticky as I was doing it. And the pieces are very coarse. Now we're going to use the fire steel from the Harbor Freight one again, just to test out. Yeah, it's burning, but it's not getting the flare like I did when I was stirring up the coals at the Doans. Okay, let me try the Doans again real quick for you. Using the Doans, the striker on the Doans. Look at that, one coal off that fire steel lit that. 5,400 degrees they advertise that cherry gets. And it's still flaring up as it gets air on it. All right, let's go to my final thoughts and rating on these two bars. Now for final thoughts and a rating on these two magnesium bars. First, let's talk about the Harbor Freight. Quick observation. When I bought it at Harbor Freight, it runs about $3. And right from the get-go, you could tell from the packaging that it just looked cheap. What I'll do is I'll bring them up side by side and show you. If you look at how the ferro rods are glued in, this being the Harbor Freight model, you can see that it's just a crappy job. Now, if you look at the side profile of both, the Harbor Freight one right here looks all like a granulated mixture, almost like an oatmeal cookie mix, whereas the Doan's bar looks like a solid piece of magnesium. Now, when we did the test with the Harbor Freight one and I used the hacksaw blade, you saw that I got coarse granules out of this one, and I could attribute that to how they mixed it. Felt real sticky and oily as well. So that's just one consideration if you buy this one at Harbor Freight. The Doan's, what can we say? It's proven technology. It's been around since the early 1970s. It's used by the military, also used one as a Boy Scout, and it never failed me. Every time that I used it, I must say that it worked as advertised. Now the Harbor Freight, I went on a camp out with a friend and we were playing around, and I tried to light a fire with this, and I must say it was mission failure. After about 7 or 8 attempts, and we're talking real world conditions and SoCal's real dry conditions, I could not get a fire with this at all. That has a lot to say about the look, the feel of it. Now for a rating on these two. The Harbor Freight one, The look, the feel, the stickiness, the oiliness. Looks like oatmeal cookie mix. You pay $3 for it. It just looks cheap and it works cheap. I gotta give it a 1 on the channel. 1 out of 5 stars. Matter of fact, we're not gonna use that one ever again. We're gonna retire that one. The Doans, paid $8.50 for it at REI. Worked as advertised, as you saw in the video. After 1 or 2 strikes, it took a flame and it burned white hot. It's proven technology. I have to give this a 5 on the channel. So Harbor Freight, thumbs down, save your money, save the $3, put an extra $5.50, get you a Doan's. It's gonna last you a long time. It's gonna work great. And it's just another item in your kit for preparedness. As always, folks, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Folks, if you like the content, please subscribe, like, and share. And for the latest channel updates, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. Folks, thanks for checking in. Until the next video, take care. We'll see you.